the best intro in the business, is back again. Let me put our nameplates on so everyone knows the people behind these beautiful faces. Fed Dead Redemption. It has been quite the week in the land of the World Wrestling Federation. Some debuts, some returns, whatever you want to call them. Some people that are on this show being owned, some people that are on this show getting victory laps. So much going on, so much to be excited about. I have an expert panel as always. Bobby Two Shoes, you're back again. Fair Deb, brother, how you feeling?
I'm doing well. The WWF is still doing relatively okay, except for a couple speed bumps last week. But it's going well overall. Glad to be here.
Speed bumps is what you're going with, huh? All right. Well, on the other side of that very coin, which we'll get into here shortly, we have the great wrestle purist man known as Monty. Montel, actually, but we all just call him Monty for some reason. I never really asked him if that's something he likes. I just kind of did it. How you doing today, pal?
Yeah, I'm good. Another week of the Fed being back.
I've heard that. Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
It's been fun. Been interesting on the good old Twitter.com. But,
so let's jump straight into it because, I don't think we've told this story anywhere. So we did Jay Shell's birthday bash on Friday, right? And we rolled in to, I would say we ended that show around 20 minutes into SmackDown, will be my rough estimate. And then we just sort of sat and talked shop. And even Jay Shell, who the whole thing was about, I had to leave at some point because, her family wanted to see her on her birthday. Fucking loser. And it was just Shoot, Monty and myself talking about professional wrestling. We were just, just talking about the business, talking about the boys, talking about what's going on, the ups, the downs, the huge. And suddenly Monty starts exclaiming at the top, what is happening? What is going on? And then he said, "Oh my God, it's Carrion Kross." And I said, "Doing what?" And he said, "He's beating up Drew McIntyre." And I swear to God, I didn't take you seriously for a second until you said it so many times. I was like, "Oh my God, this is really happening right now on SmackDown." So I guess what we'll do is, I know your reaction, Monty, and we'll circle back to that. Bob, I did not get your reaction. What was your initial reaction when SmackDown turned black and white and old Carrion Kross strolled into the scene?
I mean, I wasn't happy about it. I was surprised. Didn't think he'd be back, but took about 24 hours to gather myself, and ultimately kind of landed on it'll be fine. It just kind of sucks, but they're going to bring back people that I do like as well. But sometimes they're also going to bring back people I don't like. But yeah, it was a tough few hours for me.
By contrast, Monty, you compared this to me privately in the same vein as when Samoa Joe came to Ring of Honor. You said, not in terms of what it meant to you, but in terms of people reaching out to you and being like,
"Oh yeah, Monty, yeah." Because we literally just done that podcast. So I was like, I think we was talking about the Cross Report thing. I was like, "Hey, I don't mind." Oh shit! I was like, "I like Carrion Kross. He's all right." Well, all right might be a bit of a stretch, but I like him. Pops me. We was getting into this. I was getting owned. Then, as soon as he's showing up on SmackDown, I received 3 DMs. So, the funny thing is, you caught me reacting to it. I genuinely didn't know what was happening. So, when it all went, I feel quite stupid now. As soon as I saw black and white and the woman, I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
It's kind of nuts, bro. To be fair, putting him in that feud is fucking insane, right? Speaking of such, just get into the pieces here. I get it. You like the guy, not you. I mean Triple H, and you want to bring him back. Nothing wrong with that. It has to be said. This is a level of insane. This is balls, bro. You gotta respect this in some level. I mean, it's fucking insane. I think it's terrible in a lot of ways. But the goal to be I'm not just going to bring him back, but I am actually going to put him in the main feud of the promotion and tease the idea that he is Roman Reigns' equal. Is the kind of shit that wrestling was once built on. It's awful, but God, it pops me.
It's like he's just complete. It's like he's debuting Kross, like the Kross that didn't go up to the main roster and have his balls cut off. It's like he's just doing that. He's doing this is how I would have done it, and he's just doing it. It's like you said, it's definitely took some balls, but I guess I was thinking about this, of course, But when thinking about Karrion Kross, it's like you either have to like do it or it's just not going to work at all. And even when they're doing it, I know a lot of people don't like it, etc. And it can be devices, etc., etc. But you know, it definitely does pop some people. You know, maybe in one of them.
There's an audience for it. I like that. I like that point because in all seriousness, you're right. There are some wrestlers that can just exist, right? You can go 50-50 and they'll have good matches.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have Carrion Kross, you need to push him. I guess the question, Bob, would be, do we have to have Carrion Kross?
Well, yeah, that's really the thing. Like, it feels like it would have been better if it was, Bray Wyatt or whatever. But,
Listen, Bray Wyatt's in demand, brother.
Hold up. Hang on a second. Flag on the play. I'm not disagreeing with you, Bob. I really am not. But that is a fucking incredible thing that you just said without any hesitation. Are you certain it's better with Bray Wyatt? Like, genuinely?
No, actually, not entirely.
I think it might be worse in some ways, but better in others,
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, like, their big problem, we talked about this since we've done the show, is like they don't have a whole bunch of top of the card talent. And yeah, you don't have to insert them into this feud, but like, this is also a way you can split the belts up without, really blowing through Roman and Drew. But like, I don't know, man.
Top heel, not named Roman Reigns, brother.
Yeah.
The roster definitely needed something if that's the case. So,
well, look, we did it right a week ago, and that's part of why we do these kind of little segments of the shows. We looked at their depth chart, and we were panicking on the hillside. Bobby, I said third, and Bob went Miz, and fucking crossed his arms. So I get it, and I think, look, to their credit, I do think it was a happening, and it felt like something different was happening. I just don't know if I can get into the idea of what we're going to overall. Monty, do we really think Kross is getting one of these belts? Is that where we're headed? No.
That's it. No.
Bob?
I think they're just trying to establish him as a top of the card guy.
Yeah, I think they'll probably do a 2 falls match and have Roman and Drew each win one.
I don't think he'll be in the match.
No, that's fair.
What do you think he'll do?
I don't think he'll be in the match. I don't know, man. Like, Drew might beat him just before or something. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, honestly. I definitely don't see him putting a belt on it.
So, Roman's leaving Cardiff with one of his belts, right?
Yes.
Just in case Dwayne is like a thing. I feel like they're going to wait and hold on for that Dwayne thing, man. I really feel like that's what they want.
I think
so then that goes back to Bob's point.
Should.
Yeah, it's big.
He doesn't really need to. He doesn't really need the belt, but I guess it's weird, isn't it? Because it's the last thing that Roman has really to do in WWE, and it's just kind of like you're gonna do this, and there is a good chance he just kind of fucks off after.
Yeah.
I do want to. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. So let's talk about Cody over Kross. So this next segment, you just bear with me. I would like to read something that came directly from Jack Crosby. And I think this is one of the more pitiful things I've ever received in my life. Bob, do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I think I do.
All right, hold on, folks. You just bear with Bob. Feel dead air for a second here.
Yeah, this Jack Crosby's had just cross text all weekend, just disgusting. I'm going to block him.
Okay, listen.
Karrion Kross knows big business,
Hold on here, Monty, because this is sad. Okay, so listen. I just told Bob O'Neill this. This was spelled Oneal. And he agreed it was a fair point, Bob. I'll let you respond to that in a minute. In the grand scheme of things, maybe it's better that Cody win his WWE title from Kross rather than Roman. I know I've only been watching again for like a week, but one thing I've noticed is that people have started to cheer Roman and the bloodline shtick. That might backfire on our American Nightmare friend. And I said, Jack Crosby, this is one of the most tragic, pitiful attempts at logic that I've ever seen. Please do better. He then began to pitch Brandy Rhodes' involvement in this angle. So, Bob, I'd just like to give you a chance here. The floor is yours. Do you, in fact, agree that this was a fair point?
I don't think he's wrong, but I think it's very easy to get Roman, heat on Cody within like a week of starting that feud.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be as big of a deal as he thinks it is.
There's a surprise. I don't know if he's going to win one of these belts. I think Triple H's fascination with him is one of the funniest things in recent wrestling memory. I think him coming back and entering this feud on the build to a stadium show is the kind of thing that dreams are made of, quite frankly, as someone that just enjoys the chaos of professional wrestling. There are certain grins we have got in the last 2 weeks that have been impossible in WWE for as long as we've all been alive, because with regime changes, you get these hilarious shifts in direction. I can confirm we've got those. On the Burt this morning, I was talking about the Kevin Owens business, which was hilarious. This takes the cake, though. Karrion Kross coming back as a top guy is remarkable stuff. Anything else on Crosswatch, Monty? I know you're a big fan. I want to give you the floor. Anything else? Anything else to cover when it comes to old Karrion Kross, the Spooky Man, and Scarlet?
I guess good for him, because if you're a fan of his, it's like it's the only place he kind of really fits, you know. Yes. I guess Impact could have given it a go if they really wanted to, and I'll be honest, I was really surprised that he didn't end up there. So when he first got released from WWE, it was kind of like, who can actually try and do the Karrion Kross rebuild, you know? Yeah. And I was thinking MLW or Impact, and obviously he done a little, you know, we had a picnic at Impact, no, in MLW, and
sure did, brother.
He popped in MLW for a little, but yeah, it wasn't really surprising to me to see how little activity he had on the indies. You know, we've done a few things here and there. I know we lost to Suzuki in one match as well. If you want to call it a match, it was something.
It was wild, bro. It was wild.
But yeah, man, this is just kind of where he should be, you know. And I'll be honest, I like the act. It's just that I wish that the in-ring was better, you know, because it would obviously take it to a complete.
I don't even think he's like bad. It doesn't match. Like, he isn't like that violent. He's more like slow moving and kind of. To me, he wrestles kind of like a Randy Orton vibe. That's what I always got from him.
I think during certain points in his, it may have been his second NXT reign. I think he was kind of getting there with the violent and
you might right.
You know, trying to kind of like match his aura. And I always think this is worth bringing up whenever I get the excuse to bring it up. But I've always thought that the storyline with Samoa Joe coming back to win the NXT Championship of the, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? The problematic Karrion Kross, you know, and saving NXT. I thought that storyline was really well done, and it's just like, it's a shame that the match didn't kind of match it, you know. Samoa Joe was obviously, you know, I think a lot of people overstated how.
It definitely people were dramatic. The match is fine.
The match was like fine, but like I said, the storyline was really good, and it felt, you know, kind of felt big time NXT. Yeah, I think with Karrion Kross and his character, you can do some definitely cool stuff with it, and I get a lot of people being hesitant with him debuting in such a big spot. Even I was taken back by it, but like I was saying earlier, it's kind of what you have to do with Kross. You know, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it properly. So
I agree. I guess
that's what they're doing.
I agree. Bob, anything else on the Karrion Kross front?
No, I mean, I guess just keep an open mind for it. Like, it is different now than, you know, it has been in the past. I guess there's a case to be made that Triple H is bringing back too many of his NXT passion projects or whatever, and we can kind of revisit that down the line. I don't know that that's a right conversation for right now until we see what they do with all these people, but we'll see what happens.
I will say I was definitely guilty of this. I definitely had this instinctual gut feeling that Triple Paul didn't love the USA Network era of NXT, and he had kind of fallen victim to the commercial requirements of such a thing. And he has brought back Dexter Lumis in a week, so I'm going to assume I was wrong on that front. It appears he thought it was actually good, which is unfortunate. Slightly alarming, but, you know, you get what you get, I suppose, as a great man once said. Okay. Let's look elsewhere on the SmackDown here. The Friday night extravaganza that airs on Fox every week. Let's talk Ricochet and Happy Corbin. Bobby, you were popping for this one, pal. People like this match. Ricochet getting a win. What did you think?
Yeah, it was very good. You know, kind of a showcase for Ricochet a little bit. He got to do the shooting star press. You know, Corbin is still quite good when he is used correctly. I think it's a good use of him. And, yeah, I liked it a lot.
Monty, where do you stand on this Ricochet business now? Are you ready for them to like give him something, or are you kind of done with the project?
No, he's still. It's not like he's some 45-year-old washed up.
Yeah.
He's still. There's still life in the kid.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, the match was good. Corbin had some good heat on him. The crowd was quite alive throughout, to be honest, and they really popped for the pin as well. Yeah, man. Ricochet just kind of being allowed to stretch his legs. Just stretch his legs a little bit, and hopefully we get to see him wrestle more on Friday nights because I think we was talking about it earlier, but that roster is
needs some workers, yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, and with him, he does something different too, so like that kind of breaks it up a little bit too.
I still think there's something there. People that are much smarter than me have dismissed it, so I'm not going to say I'm right, but like. If I was booking that show, I would look at that roster and be like, I need to take a gamble on Ricochet, man. Like, he might get over in a big way. Some of these guys ain't ever going to get over, Ricochet may not be an over 40 older gentleman, but Shinsuke Nakamura is. Is there anything left in Shinsuke Nakamura, Monty? I see the facial. Is it over? Is it time to say goodbye? What do we think? Is it all over for poor old Shin? What do you reckon?
Sad day, man. It's
rest in peace.
It is. It's just they missed the boat on it. It's a shame.
Kind of feels like he's done.
We nearly got there. Like he won a Royal Rumble.
Apparently,
he's won a Royal Rumble. It's not like his run hasn't been a complete disgrace. It just hasn't.
He's never clicked.
And now it's just you can tell he's in and out of how much he really. Gives a fuck. So, obviously, he's an aging gentleman as well. So it's just, I think the time has passed. I think the time has passed on him being like a top of the card sort of star. Like, keep him around, I guess, and let him, kick people and pop people at live shows.
I'd try and find a team for him. I try and find something because I just don't know what I'd do with him as a singles. I genuinely don't. Like, I don't know what you like. He's obviously God, man, a decade ago, even less than that, he was one of the most spectacular wrestlers on earth. But I just don't know if those days are ahead of us, unfortunately. Bob, where do you stand on this one? I feel like you're going to be more high on Shin than maybe us. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for me because I didn't really get to watch him at all before he came to WWE, so I haven't seen a lot of that stuff. This is like the only exposure I've had to him. He is slowing down. I hope this week against Gunther, he's able to kind of go back and find it for, 12, 15 minutes, whatever, have a really good match and go from there. I think there was a time, to capitalize on him as like a top guy, and they didn't. But, hopefully he can still give you something.
I think so. I mean, I'm sure there's a role for him to play. It's just, I will say that if I was kind of looking at guys to rejuvenate, he wouldn't be top of my list at this point. Because I do think sometimes that it just, the day has gone. It is what it is. It's unfortunate. Okay, let's talk about this women's division situation. So we'll get into the Gauntlet in a second. There was a whole ordeal with, not that one, there was a whole ordeal with Liv that was greatly controversial. Bobby, what happened with Liv Morgan? Where do you stand on the whole thing? Go ahead.
She came out and she started cutting her promo, and she was getting "you tapped out" chants because she did tap out. Then kind of just like acknowledged that she tapped out and that she's glad that people are holding her accountable, and just kind of kept going. And then like 10 minutes later, the crowd was chanting for her, like when she was just sitting ringside watching the Gauntlet. So I don't really know what the deal was. Like I think the finish at SummerSlam probably didn't help her, but it might have just been one bad crowd, or like I don't know that they have to change course just because of that, but it was strange.
Monty, was this just one strange crowd, or do we have a problem forming for the former Purist Wrestler of the Week?
It was really rough, man, because it's just like I've said it for a while, and for as much as she get dunked on and people seem bored and tired of her on Twitter, Ronda is definitely over with these WWE live crowds. So to do the spot that they did in the SummerSlam finish with Liv tapping out at the same time as pinning her, then giving the win to Liv, that's, we all said it at the time, like it was just stupid, it was not really. I get you want to protect Ronda and stuff, but like, come on, just fucking just let Liv be, her. So yeah, then like on SmackDown, they even put like emphasis on it. Like they've done this replay where like they put like a spotlight on Liv tapping out, like it wasn't blatantly obvious anyway. And it's just, they kind of rub salt in the wound, and then Liv comes out, and like I said, these WWE crowds, they like Ronda, man. So they see someone that they like getting fucked out the championship, and it's like, of course, and kind of derailing promos with you tapped out, what chance, whatever it may be, kind of is one of the problems with these same crowds. So it was just kind of like a concoction of bad things happening, and Liv was on the receiving end of it. And it's just kind of funny because we had a lot of our friends reach out to us when we give Liv Morgan rest of the week when she became champion.
Tough week.
What the fuck, and saying it's going to age like milk, etc., etc. And it's just like, the worst thing is like the whole like how brutal Friday was is genuinely like not her fault. Like she could have gone out there and cut a 12 out of 10 promo and shut the crowd up or something like that. But let's be real, sort of thing at the same time. I think it was really short-sighted what they did with the whole finish at SummerSlam, and now they're kind of getting the shit kicked out of them for it. But hopefully that it doesn't derail Liv completely, and hopefully it was just kind of a bump in the road. But
they never should have booked the match. They never should have booked the match. And I do sympathise with the new regime, so to speak, on that front. They were given a murder mystery and asked to write the ending, right? I mean, it's. I said it on the previous show. This ain't hindsight. I said, why the fuck would you book this match? It's insane, and it was insane. I think Triple H should honestly just added someone to get himself out of it. It was bizarre. I don't know what you do with this situation moving forward. I will ask, and I agree with you totally, it is not her fault. Bob, has your stance on Liv Morgan, title contender, championship winner, changed after seeing it kind of in action? Because I do sometimes think you have to kind of, some people, they stick at a certain level. Other people, you go, well, maybe not so much. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit. Like, I'd like to see her. I guess we'll see how the match is with Shayna. But yeah, the Ronda match wasn't that good. Like, it's been weird because the Becky stuff was good, and I like what she was doing with Rhea, and then she just kind of has struggled to get to that next level.
To be clear, the matches aren't really my concern. But like, look, what I'm about to say is terribly unfair. I don't mean this to sound the way it's going to sound, but I'm just going to be honest. But like, there are some people you put a belt on and you go, oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like, They belong. They're going to have that belt a long time. And there are other people you put a belt on and you go, well, glad they got it. Yeah. Always a tag team waiting for them elsewhere, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's what's happening with Liv Morgan. I'm just saying it might have.
Nasty.
I'm just being, seriously.
That tag team line was,
I'm just being honest. I watched the SummerSlam. I have not watched SmackDown. And anyone that watches my content,
SummerSlam,
I like Liv Morgan, all right? Just being honest. She came out with that belt, and I was like, oh my God. It was like a fan or something. It was fucking weird, dude. I don't know. It didn't feel right to me, And she's an underdog, so she doesn't need to be the champ forever. Sometimes I think you see it and you kind of go, oh, I don't know about this. And here's the other thing. We've got to be real. You talk about WWE's women's division, brother. This ain't, this is big time. There's some heavy hitters. There are some sharks in the water. I'm just saying, we'll let it play out. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Enough of that. I feel mean doing it. I like Liv, I don't want to do this. The Gauntlet match, was this any good, Monty, this Gauntlet business? It went 21 minutes.
Considering the names involved, it was actually quite remarkably inoffensive. Yeah.
The land of inoffensive, SmackDown Live. Bob, inoffensive?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. You look at it on paper, you think it's going to be bad. I think, Raquel actually had a pretty good showing. She's actually not been terrible in her time on the main roster. She's been much improved from NXT, which
she's getting it back together.
Yeah,
great news.
She regressed, bro.
Yeah, she's bad. Shayna Baszler, she won. You hear that? Bob, you predicted this.
I did.
Bob predicted this in May, I think. Right? Remember, how long have you been telling me this Shayna Baszler thing's going to happen? It happened, Bobby.
Yeah, it did.
Is she going to win? Is she going to win?
I mean...
Is she going to win?
She could. Then you go into Shayna and Ronda, I guess. But, like, you don't have to. But I think everyone's been waiting for Shayna to have a main roster title run. But it kind of feels like the moment has passed a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think Liv should win. I'm just playing around. I think the match should be good. Hopefully, Liv gets a clean win at the Castle. This show is happening at the Castle. I don't know if you know that, but it's Clash at the Castle. So there's that. Finally, well, that's about it for us, man. I don't want to talk about the Viking Raiders. God forbid. Save that for Bob's 2015 Ring of Honor series, you know. All right, that was SmackDown. Before we move any on, because we started with SmackDown this week, usually we look at the week was. So can we quickly go back? Let's jump back a week here, very briefly. The NXT 2.0 business. Casey and Caden became the tag champs. Bobby, big pop?
Yeah, I mean, it was either that or call them up and put them in the tournament, I think. So I would have probably done that instead, but no, they'll be fine.
Monty, I heard this match was good, was it?
It was aight.
I love asking you questions I know your answer to.
It was aight. It was similar in the same vein as the Gauntlet. It was kind of just like inoffensive, and the crowd popped for Caden and Katana, I believe it's called.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Yes, fucking Katana. What is this shit?
Katana chance. But yeah, I was actually surprised that they brought back the belts, to be honest.
Triple pull, brother. Triple pull.
I just don't. Because remember when they first introduced the main roster women's tag belts, and it was like they could be defended anyway, including NXT. Like that was a really cool thing to have, and like, obviously bringing NXT women's belts kind of eradicates that completely. And the NXT women's tag belts never really felt like there was a division that needed it.
Agree.
Obviously, it's cool to give the women reps in tag matches and stuff like that, but come on, it's like even in this match, it's like.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, look, that ain't hindsight. Everyone was befuddled as to why these belts were made, right? I remember that being a whole conversation then. So, I don't know. How was Carmelo Hayes and Nathan Frazier, Bobby?
It's pretty good. Carmelo Hayes is still good. Nathan Frazier is getting there. Just kind of feels like they got to do something with Carmelo, though.
Got nearly a 7, and it went 5 minutes. Was this a sprint, Monty? Did we get a sprint here on TV?
I think Frazier's phenomenal, to be honest. He's so strong. He's so like strikingly.
One of them fucking Brits.
I'm not going to say I'm not comparing him. Then do basically a comparison, but you know the way that Takeshita's strikingly like fast and athletic and stuff like that. Frazier in a less obvious fashion is very striking athletically. Of course not. But like just the way that he gets around and zips around the ring is very like, oh shit. I think he's going to be very, very good. He's already kind of getting there.
His work, I'm much more in on than Carmelo's. Genuinely, like in ring, I'm way higher on him.
Same.
Carry on, Monty.
Same. Honestly, I think he's better than a lot of people that pop a lot of the Grinner Circle in our Twitter friends. Frazier's great, man. Melo's great as well, but he's more a full package kind of deal.
Yeah, he is.
Whereas Frazier, everything I'm saying is more strictly an in-ring thing. Like I said, he's just he's a hell of an athlete, and he seems to really he knows what he's doing in there.
Yeah.
Kid's got some potential.
Yeah, I'll let the Brit bias slide on that one, Monty. I agree with most of that. Mandy Rose and Shrey, I will not talk about.
It wasn't that bad. What did we give it, actually?
2.52 on cagematch.net.
We give it 1.75 stars.
To be fair, they got 5 minutes?
Whatever. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's Mandy Rose, so it's like...
So, You know this Solo Sikoa Von Wagner match?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, brother.
Is this a real thing? Because this match has a 7 and Dave got 3.5 stars, which is
Mad at him for that.
Oh, you're very anti Solo Sikoa though. It's kind of weird.
It's just Von Wagner in a street fight, bro.
Yeah.
I really just did not like this at all.
My God. Okay. Wow.
I just thought it was just like, I don't know, man. It's just like one of those just plunders. I don't know, bro. It's just fucking. It was Solo Sikoa versus Von Wagner main event in a fucking street fight. Like, what do you want from me, man? What do you want from me, bro?
When you said plunder, I now know what this sort of match was. Okay, fair. Bob, are you gonna go in the other way on this one and agree with Dave Meltzer?
It was fine. I don't really like Von Wagner. I like Solo Sikoa.
Bob muting himself in the middle of his take because his dog was barking. His peak, Bob. Can you imagine being that polite on a podcast? You just say, I'm going to mute myself. Like, you don't even announce, you just mute yourself.
Oh my God.
Just give your take, Bob. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it was fine. Like, I don't think Von Wagner's any good, but I think Solo Sikoa is pretty good and should probably be up soon. So he kind of carried it here.
He's at Monty's, doesn't got a clue. He rules.
Yeah, I don't think he's like terrible. I'm not quite where Joe. I don't know. I'm not quite where Joe is on him. But
it'd be a bit weird if he was really.
I don't think anyone is.
Hell of a talent.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
All right.
Obviously, I kind of get the. He's another one like the character, the act and stuff. Like it's kind of cool, I guess.
Oh my God! All right,
I'm just happy we're getting away from this Von Wagner shit now. Hopefully,
Monty, here's your time to shine. All right, I'm going to read these level up results. I'm going to say a name. And you're just going to give me your immediate response. You may not know who they are. All right.
I'm not too familiar with the
Dante Chen.
He's What am I doing? Rating him out of 10?
Just say like good, bad, shitty, great, whatever. Just go. Dante Chen.
Shooters.
And Guru Raj.
Don't know who that is.
Defeated Bryson Montana and Damaris Griffin.
Don't know who they are.
Ariana Grace.
Let me just quickly Google so I know it's Ariana.
Bob, are you familiar?
Isn't she the
That's
Rock
Santino's daughter? Yeah, she can kind of talk. I haven't really seen
yeah.
Bob just decided it was the Rock's daughter there. That was incredible. Bob just got Santino Marella confused with Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I believe it's Santino's daughter. So she can kind of talk. To be fair, for experience level anyway. Obviously, like I'm not saying she can actually like go out there and cut a hell of a promo. Sort of. She's got some personality. I haven't seen her in the ring, but you know,
she defeated Thea Howe.
That's the girl that's just graduated or whatever. The one who's like 17 or however old she is.
Any good?
Don't know. She's very, you know, she gives it a go in the segments on NXT.
She goes for it. All right, good for her.
She's friends with Bodie Haywood, so she's friends with me, you know.
Quincy Elliott.
Oh, bro. You know, you've seen him. You've not seen Quincy Elliott?
No.
Oh, bro.
Is he good?
Get his Twitter up now.
Okay.
Have you not seen?
You've
not seen Quincy. You've not seen Quincy. No, my God!
I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm trying.
Bob, have you seen Quincy?
I don't think so.
Oh my God!
You've not seen Quincy.
What is he? He hasn't even got a Twitter. What's his name? Quincy. What's the thing? What's his name?
Oh, where is it? Quincy _ WWE Super Diva.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, 3,400 followers.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Yeah, it's that guy.
I've seen the clips. Okay, well he defeated Zion Quinn.
Oh, that fucking rules.
Hell of a show.
Zion Quinn, you know, I get trying to make a project out of him, I guess, because you know he's got the look, especially the one that the old boys love over there. Even though half of them are gone now. I get wanting to try and make him somewhat competent in the ring, but it's rough, bro. It's rough. Zion Quid it's rough. It's rough.
NXT has house shows again. This is a great opportunity to enjoy ourselves. Giovanni Vinci over Dante Chen. We've already got the take on Chen. We don't need one on Vinci. He's obviously very good. Nikita Lyons over Kiana James. What do you think that one was like, boys? Any good?
Who versus Kiana? Nikita
Lyons. This was at the Largo Event Center.
Nikita makes my skin crawl, bro. She really makes she really makes me genuinely cringe. You know.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Which is like as a wrestling fan is like incredibly hard to do. Yeah, Nikita's like I don't want to call it wrestle crap because it's not even like the booking, you know.
You can say it. That's fine.
But like herself is wrestle crap.
Very embarrassing.
Kiana James is I think she's the mathematician. Gimme, I believe. She's another one like Santino's daughter. She's got a bit of personality, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, one of them can be the next Tiff Stratton. You know, future WWE Hall of Famer.
We'll get to it in a second. They run Hayes and Frazier for North American title, which we just talked about. They run Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton. That's pretty strong. That's pretty good, right? Bob, do you as high on young Tiffany as Monty and I are?
She's been better than I thought she'd be, yeah.
Of course, trained by the great Greg Gagne.
It's true.
Monty, you're all in on this one, right? This is your like blue chip. This is the prospect top the big board almost for you. Not quite, but you know what I
mean. Roxanne and Tiffany Stratton, those two right there are like the
best.
They're like the two best prodigies or whatever on the
in very different ways as well. Right? Yeah, definitely. Totally different ways. I mean, Roxanne's fundamentals are amazing, but Tiffany does have she has a very natural grasp of her character. It's a little bit. She's going to need to find a more refined version of it, I think, to reach her full ceiling because it's very mid card the way she does it right now. It's so glossy and over the top, which I know that's the point. I'm aware. What I'm saying is you need to find that balance so that she's not just a gimmick, but. Athletically, man, she can do some shit in there, right? She seems like a natural. So
and she's putting it together really quickly. Like considering how she's not experienced at all. I don't think she's been wrestling for a year yet. You know,
that's crazy.
It's like I said, it's very striking how quickly she's getting better, noticeably as well as the weeks go by. And as you said about Roxanne, she's just fucking. It don't make sense how good she is. She's like 21 or something.
Bro, you kind of blown me away with that. November 2021. That's her in-ring debut.
Bro.
That's fucking crazy, man. That is actually crazy. That's why I hate cage match. Why has she got a 5 rating? Why are we rating already, you know? Can we give it a few years? It's ridiculous. It's all shit. Mm-hmm. Anyway, of course I'll get mad about cage match in the middle of that. The Creed brothers over Chase U, that's fine. I'm aware. Bodie Hayward's your favorite, Monty, right? The other fellas I'm aware of. There you go. The women's tag titles were defended against Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend.
Mm-hmm. That's probably okay.
Monty, I'm not sure you agree.
I wish Lash Legend was good at wrestling, man.
Yeah,
she's got all the personality and everything. And even as a base, she's an athlete, and it's just she just isn't coordinated and shit in there. You know, it's a shame because it's a shame.
Wesley over Trick Williams. Just copy and paste what Monty said about Lash Legend for Trick Williams. I'll be honest with you. I think Trick's personality is so strong that I would use him anyway. I think he's fucking incredible. But it's a shame.
I'd force a space for him. He'd be my general manager or something.
Yeah, he's incredible personality. It's a shame. And Bobby, what do you think of this main event here? Apollo Crews and Bron Breakker over Grayson Waller and JD McDonough. What are you reckon?
3 of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I saw that angle with.
Right.
I saw the angle with Dipshit cutting his hand up and fucking like some sort of.
Yeah.
What a load of shit.
I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem for the best for Braun Breaker to have him work Joe Gacy and then this dude.
Yeah, I feel like they should have just called him up when we was all saying they should call him up, but what do I know? Anyway, good for Apollo Crews working Largo again. These are the games we play. All right, we're going to stick with the house shows. Why? Because I want to. Saturday night's main event. Hot opener. Liv Morgan over Natalya. Bob Lash over champion Dolph Ziggler. Finn Balor over Dominic Mysterio. Bro, do you know how fucking mad I'd be if I bought a ticket and saw Ray stand at ringside to watch Dominic Mysterio? I swear to God. You don't even know. Bianca Belair over Asuka and Carmella was where poor Carmella got hurt.
Did you see how that happened?
No comment. Gunther over Shinsuke Nakamura. The Usos over the Street Profits, and then that turned into a 6-man main event in which it was Drew McIntyre and the Profits over Sheamus and the Usos. That was a combined brand show.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. Yeah. All right. I'm looking at the other NXT house show here. There was... Who's Sloane Jacobs?
I think she's the redhead. She's one of
these people. It's incredible. He knows everyone, Bob. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, she's a redhead.
Yeah.
She's a redhead. She's one of the. She was in the breakout tournament. I think she's like 20 or some shit.
Okay. The main event of the other NXT house show was Roxanne Perez, Wendy Chu, and Zoe Stark opposite Cora Jade, Mandy Rose, and Tiffany Stratton. Big time, brother. Big time.
Clash at the castle. Who needs you?
Yeah, exactly right. All right. Let's get to Raw at long last.
Don't have an app. Braun's momentum is dead. I think that's a bit harsh. It's definitely hurt. I don't know. Dead.
There's no hype anymore, brother.
It's still Braun Breaker, bro.
I know, but you gotta remember,
be good for whatever it's worth.
You gotta remember. You watched the show, owned, but Braun had such momentum that we all was aware of him. Those of us normal people that don't watch it, Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Also, he's having to sell for some fucking idiot cutting his hand open on TV, some sort of he's in a Stephen King picture or something.
He'll be fine, man. He'll be fine.
Shit. Anyway, Raw was really good, guys. I loved Raw. I actually thought it was better than last week. Before we even get into it, Bob, what do you think? Hot take? I was better than last week. I loved it.
No, I mean, I think last week the highs were a little higher, but I think overall it was probably a better show.
Monty, where do you stand on this? 2 good shows, no doubt. What do you think was better?
I think this was marginally better. I think Bob definitely makes a good point saying that the highs were higher last week. But I think last week I'd say I was a 7. I'd say this is 7.5, 8. So it's only marginally better. But I think that's mainly because of how much I enjoyed Ciampa versus Bobby Lashley, which was tremendous. Ciampa's had 3 really good matches on Raw in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's
AJ Styles too, by the way. AJ Styles is there. I mean, the Miz match is different, but his performance was unbelievable in that match. So, but yes, Cham, we'll get to that. Let's start with the top of the show, though. The big grand opening. Control in there for an in-ring promo. The baby faces came out. They all got Road Warrior pops because wrestling is back. They did a brawl. Alexa did a crossbody.
Did you see? Did you see Dakota?
What?
I fucking love these women's brawls, on the WWE. You see when in amongst the mayhem, Dakota hits Bianca with this crazy shot in the kidneys, and it was fucking incredible.
I said it on the Burt earlier, but I honestly thought I was losing the plot because I watched this in dead of night. And when I tweeted about it, and Backup Hangman quote tweeted and said the exact thing I was thinking. So I was like, I'm not imagined it. Bianca and Alexa are the main ones that I would name for this crime. They legitimately look like they were having a fight. It was honestly kind of insane to watch.
Alexa was outside in our group.
She was beating the fuck out of her.
Hammers, bro.
She was punching her in the spine and shit. She was fucking.
She was just swinging wildly. It was crazy.
It was honestly red hot action. It was like good TV. You said you shoot an angle. So this was a hell of a time, Bob. What do you think of the sequel to last week's beloved Brawl? I thought this one's even better.
Yeah, that it ruled. They should just do brawls every week. Pops me every time. It's great stuff.
You're right. They should. In all seriousness, though, let's be completely real. The last regime absolutely would have either done the trios match this week, or they'd have done like Dakota versus Alexa, or like Asuka versus EO.
Mm-hmm.
They give this feels like a bigger deal after this week. You know, you just let it cook a little bit more, and I think it helped immediately.
I love it.
Okay, you guys keep talking about this because the something's about to happen on this program right here. You guys keep talking about the women and how good.
I genuinely really love this. Like, I went as far as to say in the group chat earlier, which I inevitably got cooked for saying, but it's genuinely probably my favourite thing in wrestling at the moment.
Yeah,
seeing just kind of seeing the women presented as big time, as we like to say on here, and the presentation is a big part of it, but also like Bayley being back after so long, the novelty of that still hasn't quite worn off for me just yet.
Mm-hmm.
EO on the main roster pops me. Dakota's back in the company and on the main roster, which pops me. We've got this lineup of all stars of Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa. The Alexa thing especially pops me because of the way she kind of fell into it. We assume because of the Becky Lynch injury. Did you see the flyer that they dropped for the Clash at the Castle match?
I did, yeah. Folks, we've got an incredible occasion here.
Hey, Bob.
Hi, Jack.
Jack Crosby is here. Jack, I believe it's the first time you've shared the screen with a Wrestle Purist over there, Monty, I believe.
It is. What's going on, pal?
What's going on?
I got like 40 minutes left of work here. Don't tell anyone. So I'm just. What are you guys talking about?
Karrion Kross.
We're doing WWE.
I do want to give you a chance because I definitely read out a text you sent to me in private on the air about Carrion Kross tonight. So if you'd like to kind of just clarify your stance on Carrion Kross in any way, shape, or form, I feel like this is a good time for you to do so. Go ahead, pal.
What do you mean clarify? What am I clarifying?
Well, you kind of were saying that he should be the world champion, and I thought that was a little bit, a little bit unnecessary.
Well, then what would be the problem with that? There's 2 world titles. I'm not seeing the problem here. What is the problem?
Well, you could give it to like a good wrestler could win it. Like Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn or like one of the good ones, and you want to give it to someone who's not so good,
No, but the problem there is he is good. That's where the disconnect is. He is good. He's very good.
Well, we'll let the record speak for itself.
Some have called him the Luthez of this generation. Not me. It's not me.
Sounds like something you've said.
I've heard. It's just what I've heard said about.
That was Colt Bauer. All right, well, that's fine. What we're actually talking about, Jack, is the red hot trios women's feud going on. We got a big brawl again last night. A fucking dive into the stands. The place is rocking, Jack. We're all in on this business. Are you with us?
I love it. I love how you called it. I don't know if you did it on Twitter and prior to me, the WCW versus the NWO.
Alex Luger.
Oh, man, it's so refreshing. It really is. All of it. All 3 hours of Raw last. I'm just talking about my boss at work. He asked me if I watched Raw last night. I said, yeah, it was the first time I watched like legit the 3 hours start to finish. I don't know how long. That was entertaining, man. Yeah. It's been a long time since I had that much fun watching that company.
Yeah.
That was a fun freaking show, man.
It was really good. I do want to say it's so cool that Billy Corgan and you talk about Raw at work. That's fucking awesome, bro. I just love that you still got passion for the business, It's good shit.
Look, man. There is no NWA on CBS, okay? It's not happening.
You sure?
Yeah, because we Bob will know what I'm talking about. We're apparently spending all the money on Big Ten football.
Wow.
So,
well, I don't know. Maybe you should revisit those YouTube tapes, bro. There's something to be said for it. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Angelo Dawkins for a minute, can we?
Yes.
Monty, I've been very consistent, and what I mean by that is for the last month I've been talking about this. We need to be more fair to Angelo Dawkins. Someone in our chat earlier said they preferred this Seth match to Montez Seth match, and I thought about it for a second. I did too. Mm-hmm. Dawkins is. I'm not saying he's a main eventer, but Monty, this guy, there's a role for him to play, right? He's come a long way.
He seems more along and more comfortable with singles matches than Montez at the moment, to be very honest. I'd still, at this moment, circle Montez as the guy out of the tag team, but I think I'm a lot further away than a lot of people when it comes to Dawkins being like the Jannetty, and just kind of being washed after the split up. I think they can chisel the space out for him as a singles, to be honest. I think he's good enough, he's charismatic enough, and he can go. So I think they can, but it's whether they actually want to do it, you know. Whereas before, I think a lot of people just thought like he was dead in the water once Montez splits. So I don't think that's the case. I don't think it should be the case anyway.
I would agree. Bob, where do you stand on this one, mate?
Yeah, I actually agree. I liked the Seth match last night, I think, a little bit better. The past, really since they came up to the main roster, I think Dawkins really improved quite a bit. He's a guy, you know, they're giving him kind of more and more singles matches this year, and he's really kind of showing it every time.
Jack, I know you haven't watched the show in a while, and like when I had gone a while without watching, when I saw Dawkins, I was like, holy shit, like he's really upped his game. Was that noticeable you last night too?
Yeah, he's really good. I don't buy into this theory. I know people like to talk about it, of there has to be a Jannetty in every friggin' team. It doesn't have to work that way. Like these guys can go their separate ways, and they can both be successful. And I think that's what's going to happen here, especially because, you know, especially with Triple H in charge now. Like Angelo Dawkins is like he's the poster child for a product, for being a product of that system as a whole. I don't think Hunter's just going to go, all right, man, I'm just going to throw you in the garbage now. like, all right, we did all of this work to get you to this. You know, we're going to do everything we can to help you out here. Like they're not just going to brush him to the side.
I tend to agree. Yeah, I think they'll find something. Even if it's another team, I think they'll find something for him. I think they should. I think he deserves that, you know? Again,
that's a testament to this, you know, quote-unquote new era. Because now Vince McMahon, if he were still there, yeah, he would take Dawkins and just go, no, right. I mean, this Montez Ford guy, he's got charisma, you know, so, but all right, well, thanks for coming. But I don't think Triple H is going to do that.
I don't either. Jack, I'll stick with you because you texted me about this and it popped me that you found it as hilarious as I did. This Kevin Owens business, brother.
I got, holy shit. I'm sorry. The decision for Triple H just to go in there and look at Kevin and go, all right, listen, here's what we're going to do. You're just going to go be Kevin fucking Owens again. Okay? That's what we're going to do. We're just going to do that. And Kevin was like, and I imagine Kevin like didn't even ask a question. He just went, all right, boss. And walked out, got to Ron. They're like, you're just going to fucking destroy this Ezekiel bullshit. Playtime's over. And Kevin just bolted down. But this is the Kevin that's money.
Yeah.
And it's really a testament to how fucking talented Kevin Steen is. Like Kevin Steen is an all-time performer because even the shit that Vince McMahon threw at him, Kevin made it great.
He was good at it, yeah.
But absolutely. Now Triple H is going, all right, we're going to take the chains completely off you. Go do what you're best at. Like, that's dangerous that Triple H is just allowed to do this now with Kevin. Like, I said we're long over. I saw somebody say on Twitter, Kevin should have a title. Like, they were saying U.S. I was like, no. This son of a bitch is long overdue for another world title run.
I agree.
Long overdue. He's going to get that very soon. Like, Triple H is going to. That's the guy. Like I get all the focus now is on who Triple H is bringing in, bringing back in, who you might be looking at. No one's really talked about who Triple H might hitch the anchor to. I think Kevin Steen is going to be the guy he hitches the anchor to and says, help me get this off the ground running. Would not shock me at all if that's who he turns to, especially after last night.
He ticks all the boxes, right? He's already a big name. The audience already loves him, but it does feel like he has more to offer for the reasons you said. Monty, what do you think? Is Kevin Owens set for another world title run here in the coming months, years, whatever it may be?
Yeah, he's way overdue. He's probably the only person who I've seen face Roman during this title reign, I think. You remember the Royal Rumble match? I was like, if Kevin wins this, I'm popping for it. So that's just especially when you consider the reign that Roman Reigns is on, and even at that time when it was hotter than it was now, I'd say.
I think so.
it's just a testament to how good he is. And of course, you know, we got the WrestleMania main event with Stone Cold, which was surreal, genuinely one of my favorite moments of the year. He was flawless in that pretty much. Then, you know, the Ezekiel stuff is just kind of fucked around with, and he still made it great. And it's kind of, you know, now that Ezekiel's been smoked by Owens, it's like he's kind of, what do you do with him now? He's kind of, he's at our foot. But yeah, Kevin Owens genuinely one of the best talents that they still have, and should be treated as such.
I'm really not trying to paint Triple H as this like revolutionary genius.
I am.
But but the wherewithal to look at Kevin and go, the Kevin Steen, I'm never going to break that habit. The Kevin Owens I know, if some guy's fucking with him like that, Kevin's just going to try to murder him. He's not going to play with him. Kevin's just going to murder him. And Kevin was like, yeah, you know what, Hunter? Yeah, you're right. He's like, all right, so that's what you're going to go do. Go kill him.
Mm-hmm. We talked about this earlier, Jack. You and I were texting about it. It's like, I think people misunderstand. I mean, I don't want to talk for Monty because he just claimed that, you know, he just went with it. But people misunderstand our stance on this as being like, oh, we think Triple H is a great booker. It's like, no, I just know he's not a 75-year-old man who's like, forgot people's names and shit, you know?
Yeah. So, somebody said it. It's like Triple H is going to get a lot of praise. And like, that's not to say he doesn't deserve it. But the things Triple H has to do to get that praise are not that fucking hard.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's literally going, hey, guys, all right, listen, everybody. When you're doing promos, okay, is everybody listening? Okay, when you're doing promos, you could say wrestling and wrestler. You're like, oh, okay. And then somebody goes out and does it, and the fucking, my tweet deck timeline is going 100 miles an hour going, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And Hunter's like, yeah, praise me.
that was really, that one really stood out, the wrestlers and wrestling thing.
Yeah,
because like the way that the news cycle kind of picked that up was like really striking. And I've said it, Joe said it, I've said it on Podcast with Hollywood and over here. It's like, you know, Vince is that insane. Is that literally everything we've just said? Vince is that insane that, you know, just doing normal things in wrestling is gonna like be a massive improvement.
It's just normal shit. That's all Hunter has to do, just the most basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh my God, this is so great.
Kind of rules. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I think there's a thread from, I think it was Trevor Dame last weekend, who just kind of laid out like all the cards are there. He just has to basically take it from like a 3 to a 6, and it'll be just this massive improvement. Absolutely.
Bob, anything on the Kevin Owens thing before we move forward here, pal?
I thought it ruled. I'm really excited for what it means for his future. He's not a guy that I really considered in this whole Triple H thing, but he's going to benefit. It's going to be great.
I would agree. Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio, I mean, frankly, there's nothing left to say about these gentlemen. They are both very good at professional wrestling.
Yes.
We'll you know, I'm sure we'll talk about them in the coming weeks and months, but what is there at this point? I mean, they're just great, obviously.
Well,
how did you feel? The finish, well, yeah, the Rhea is, that's quite the deal.
I'm so tired of this running joke. Like, oh, I wish Rhea would beat me up like that.
Did you see my tweet about Rhea last night?
I did not.
I said, have we considered that maybe Rhea Ripley should dethrone Roman Reigns?
I've considered it often, but yeah, it's a good call. She fucking real. I mean, that's one thing I've been consistent on, you know. She's got like she's got something very special there. Bob, any comment on wanting to be beat up by Rhea Ripley? I feel like Monty was taking a shot at you there.
No, I'm out of that game.
Wow, it's a game to you, huh? Oh my God.
Retired.
Corleone over there. All right. Bob, how did you feel about this women's tag title tournament? I'm really torn it where, like, I respect the way they did it and they gave it time to be important, but I also, a big part of my brain was like, okay, go home now, please. It's long.
Yeah, it was interesting because I didn't expect it to be, 10 minutes or whatever it ended up being because, like, the talent on both sides, you would think you just give Io and Dakota a win, just move along with it. But, like, I guess if you want to be like, these two have so much experience together or, just experience in general, and it takes some time to wear them down, it's fine. But yeah, they could have cut a couple minutes off, but overall it's all right.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a catastrophe or anything. Jack, how did you feel about this going 10 minutes? It caught me off guard. I think I appreciated the intention. I don't know if I would have done it personally. What did you think? I
kind of feel bad saying that WWE women's match went too long. Like that seems bad. Like I feel bad saying that, considering what's been going on lately. No, they're probably could have been a little shaved off. There were a little bit of clunky moments there, but overall, I think they'll nail this tournament. Like Triple H, we've seen already, he's really good with tournaments. You know, the thing Vince McMahon hated. Hated tournaments.
The SmackDown side is.
Yeah,
I've seen some things in my time, Jack Crosby. That SmackDown side is like a fucking horror movie. You know, it's just terrifying. I've never seen anything quite like it.
They'll get it fixed.
I don't know. What do you think, Monty? Do you think that SmackDown side is that a case of throwing up the bat signal for Sasha and Naomi taking someone's place? Because it kind of feels that way to me. Or are we just going to get Aaliyah and Raquel in the final?
No, Sasha Banks and Naomi are definitely going to be a clash at the castle. Whether they're in the final or confront the winners, come on.
But hold it, but the clash, remember, clash is not the tournament final. Which is what's interesting. The trios is the clash. Unless neither of those teams are in the tournament final, which I feel would be pretty nuts.
What's the pay-per-view after Clash?
Bob?
Extreme Rules.
Oh, that's here in Philly.
Yeah.
I was surprised they went with 8. I was very surprised that they went with 8 teams, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was expecting 4, you know.
They probably did up 4.
Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark is one hell of a choice. But
yeah. I think the thing is with Sasha and Naomi coming back is you have Labor Day, the first Raw after Clash at the Castle, so that's a night you want to try and capitalize, and then Monday Night Football comes back the next week, so probably one of those 2 Raws to try and pop a number would make more sense, but we'll see. I could see them being in the tournament too, though, if they're ready to come back like this week. They just take out, whoever.
Do you guys think I'm nuts for thinking there's a chance that Control cost Alexa and Asuka next week? Because I kind of think they might save the actual match. I know it sounds dumb because it's Doudrop and Nikki, but I don't know. It's all it's a bit strange to me. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Like, you're not going to run that match and then run the trios 2 weeks later.
I guess you could. I mean, here's the thing. I guess it would main event Raw, so
yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think we all agree that if it isn't Sasha and Naomi, Dakota and Io are getting the belts, right? That feels like a pretty safe bet.
I think this is one of those, like we talk about with AEW all the time. That might be another thing Triple H is going to do. Sometimes in wrestling, predictable is good. Like, it's fine to watch this tournament and go, I know that Dakota and Io are going to win these titles. I know they're going to win them. But you know what? We're going to have fun getting there. And I know that Sasha and Naomi are going to confront them afterwards. But again, we're going to have fun getting there. And I think that legit might be the goal here.
I agree. And it's also important to remember that there are a lot of people that watch Raw that aren't familiar with Dakota and Io. This is big deal, right? You can get them over in this tournament. Especially if they main event at TV with Asuka and Alexa. That's a big spot. So hopefully it works out as we hope. Best thing on the show, I thought, Lashley and Ciampa.
Yes.
Ciampa has had a huge 2 weeks, Bobby. Huge 2 weeks. Lashley, I think the world of Lashley, we all do, but this is a bit of a big match for Ciampa. I thought he killed it. What do you think of the US title match, Bob?
Yeah, it was incredible. I thought Ciampa was going to win at various points. And, even in losing, it's rare, especially in WWE the past few years, that a guy can lose and still basically be perfectly fine. But, he's a guy that came out of that match maybe even better than he went in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's pro wrestling, bro. Again, that's shit that we've just lost in WWE. That should just be a thing. If you lose to a guy like Bobby Lashley, you should look fine. They've lost that completely. Monty, what do you think? I thought it's over-delivered. What did you think of the match itself?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the video package before it as well. Another United States video package, which I thought was tremendous. It really made the bout feel like more important than it's felt in at least a decade. The match was great. All the highly raised tributes that Ciampa had done before definitely helped the is he actually going to win sort of vibe for the match. The highly raised row became out in, I thought was a nice touch. The match was really great. Honestly, I beat on quite a few of the near falls. It was, Ciampa definitely came out of it better than what he went into it, even with a loss. And that's kind of something Triple H has done a lot in the past, really.
Agreed,
He likes doing these, longer matches where the loser can still get over. Triple H doesn't seem to be a booker that's scared to put his two people he wants to protect against each other and having one of them lose and look good in losing. And I'm not saying Ciampa's this protected top star or anything, but I think this will be a sign of things to come. And not to draw the obvious comparisons, but it's one of our frustrations with AEW that they don't do enough of the. I'm not saying it took big balls to put Tommaso Ciampa versus Bobby Lashley, but like I said, it's kind of like it could be a tale of things to come, with people getting over in losses and actually putting people that you want to push against each other and just kind of letting them work, and
you get great matches like this. In NXT, that was definitely a thing. Jack, you're a big Ciampa guy.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool, right? Seeing him in this kind of spot. It feels like something we never thought we'd get. It's kind of happening here in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, there was no way this was going to happen under Vince.
Right.
The way things were going under Vince, I know Ciampa was on the main roster, but like whatever the next round of cuts were going to be, he was probably in there. Like that was the next one or two. But like pushing this U.S. championship as like one of the top titles in the company for 2 weeks in a row with that video package. Why you should care about it was perfect. Bobby Lashley being the guy to carry that mantle is perfect. And that match last night, it did just as much for Bobby as the fighting United States champion because the match was so excellent. It did wonders to prop him up as the champion.
Great point. Yep.
But again, in the end, you came out of that, like Bob said, and you could believe that Ciampa can beat anyone on that roster now at any given time.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to pull off, especially in today's world. It's really difficult to pull that off. But those sons of bitches did it last night.
I love that point about Lashley because I know you haven't been watching Jack, but Lashley, as over as he is, he's been wrestling Theory, and those matches have just been whatever. And the Omos stuff, obviously, you can only do so much. Like, you're right. This was a big deal for him too. I think you're absolutely correct on that. This was a great match for him. Right?
He's the perfect. Like if they really want to prop this United States Championship up to where it seems they do, Bobby Lashley is perfect. Keep that title on him for a while. So don't take that off of him for a while.
Yeah.
Make it important when somebody does. Treat it like a world title. Make it important when somebody does beat him for that championship.
I agree totally. I think it's the perfect spot for him at this point in his career.
Considering you've pulled all this off in 2 weeks as well, literally 2 Raws. Like they've done a total match that felt, big and felt like it meant something, and with a challenger that felt realistic, etc., etc., etc. It's literally took them 2 weeks to do it.
It's not hard, bro. Like the way they booked before would make you think less of great talent, And then when you see like someone like Ciampa in this setting, it's like, oh man, 2 weeks ago I took him totally for granted on that roster. I was just like, he's just a guy because he was just a guy. Again. The simple things are going to get the product a long way in terms of where it has been. I need to show love to Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable, who had like a very un-WWE match in the third hour. The crowd didn't really know what to do with it, but they fucking went out there and just wrestled.
Yeah, that's great.
It fucking ruled. Jack, you were texting me about Dolph earlier. This was a hell of a time, wasn't it?
He feels different under this trip. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but the presentation of Dolph, and I don't know, maybe if it's because someone had a talk with him and like he's reinvigorated for something's different about him. It's not just the usual like, oh well, here comes Dolph again. That just felt he felt different last night.
I mentioned to you that I think it actually happened in the NXT run. I really believe this because I know you didn't see a lot of that, but like he appeared to be very boosted in terms of confidence by that run, where he was like an actual top guy for the brand. And I know it's only NXT, but still, that dude hadn't been a top guy for any brand for a while, man. Like it'd been a lot of nothing for Dolph. And I just think, and this is purely me being, kind of presumptive assuming here, I feel like he's wrestling with the perspective of a guy who knows that he probably ain't gonna be around forever, right? I mean, I'm sure he wants to. I mean, how old is Dolph now? I mean, the guy looks great, but he's 42, man. He's 42. Like, that's crazy. 42 years old, Dolph Ziggler. Like,
just turned 42.
So I think this part of that, he seems to just be having a blast. He's dressing as a baby face. The crowd likes him and respects him. I don't know, man. Good vibes to this Dolph thing, Bob. I know you're famously a hater of the Dolph Ziggler, man. What did you think?
I thought it ruled. I had high hopes for it when it was announced, and they went out and kind of did what I was hoping that they were going to do, but didn't think they were going to do.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Monty, this was very different in ring, right? This was very Especially the first couple of minutes. This was about as far from like the WWE textbook as you get, man. They were just out there wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling, you know. And like you said, it popped me when you said that the crowd didn't really know what to do with it, because that's exactly what happened. It's just, it was good, man. It's good to see Dolph wrestling with intent, you know.
Yeah,
a bit more. You never want to accuse people of not caring, but you know, it's cool to see him revitalized. We'll just
some enthusiasm, some energy to them, man. Because hey, look, it's worth noting. About 10 years ago, he was the most energetic dude on that roster in the ring. I mean, he would fucking bump for everyone and do great. He certainly, you know, they kicked the shit out of him in terms of his motivation for a while there. But he seems like he's in a good place. So good luck to him. Okay, main event. Speaking of guys that at their age continue to amaze me, AJ Styles taking bumps to the fucking concrete floor. He's out there doing this ridiculous match with Miz. I mean, he is. What an incredible pro wrestler AJ Styles is, Bob. He never ceases to amaze me, truly. What did you think of the main event, pal?
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm glad AJ, because, you know, the Omos stuff was fine, but, like, he didn't really get to be the AJ that he's been for however long, and he's kind of back to it, and still great. I'm amazed he can still do some of the stuff that he does, but he's still going, man.
Jack Crosby.
Yeah,
how fucking long have you been watching this guy do this shit now?
AJ Styles? It's NWA Wildside. So I've been watching AJ Styles. What was that?
20 years?
I've been watching AJ. Yeah, I've been watching AJ for over 20 years. I felt legit. That's not a joke. I've been watching AJ.
It's ridiculous, man.
I don't know how. I had a channel here that got NWA Wildside. It's like late at night. I forgot. God, the channels have changed so much now. But yeah, I remember why. Yeah, that was the first time I saw AJ Styles, and I've been watching him ever since.
Yeah, he's still killing it. What did you think of the main event, pal?
Oh, that was really good, and it's kind of like my point about Kevin Owens. It's like Triple H had a meeting with like all the talents, right? It's like, here's what we got for you, and like he brings in Kevin. Is like, all right, you're just gonna go be Kevin Owens. All right, get the fuck out of the eye. You know what to do. Go ahead. And you know, he brought in AJ and is like, yeah, you're just gonna be AJ Styles. How's that sound? And AJ was like, really? He's like, yeah, that's all we're going to do. Just go be AJ. Have fun. And this is what we're going to get.
He's incredible, isn't he? My goodness. I mean, seriously, I'm not saying he's Danielson, but I've said this before, he's the only American guy over the last 20 years that I'm putting in the Danielson category.
Getting deja vu.
He deserves it.
Yeah, man, this dude's fucking spectacular.
When I'm not my 2-minute rant about AJ Styles last week.
There you go.
But yeah, copy and paste that in here. If you didn't see it, you know, AJ Styles he's a good professional wrestler.
I've heard that, yeah. I've heard that.
I like that. He's a good professional. Get a shirt made up with that.
He's genuinely, though, like AJ is an all-time great, and I feel like some people don't fully appreciate the length that's been a thing. Like, he's been great most of the time that young Jack Crosby has been watching him over there, you know? He's been great most of that time, man.
How you want to think this as well with him? It's like, how long was he? Like, it's only recently that you would take him out of like one of the best wrestlers in the world category, you know?
Yeah.
So like, how long was he in that category, man? Like,
the one issue he has, and this is where it gets kind of difficult. And listen, folks, please don't get mad at me. We're just being honest here. There are a few of those TNA years where their creative actively prevented him from having good matches, which of course is what TNA does. I mean, fuck, I'm a Samoa Joe fan. They starved him for about 8 years. Genuinely, there's a few years where AJ was limited by creative, but he still had good matches regularly. And whenever he would get pushed, I mean, it goes about saying, I don't know, Jack, how many years do you think of that kind of... He was a best in the world candidate for, what, 10 of those years?
Probably. I know I absolutely hated the fucking Ric Flair shit.
That was terrible, man.
I hated that. I hate it more now as time passed, but I hated it when they did. I said, this is stupid. AJ doesn't need to do this.
Yeah, it was so dumb. It was so so far from AJ's personality too, you know?
Yeah. They gave him the robe and shit. They frosted his hair. I was like, this is dumb as shit.
And the worst thing is, that was just when they were getting his push right.
Yeah.
And then Hogan comes in and does that, you know, because for years people have been waiting for him to be world champ. He finally was the babyface ace, and then Hogan comes in, turns him heel, and puts some fucking buffoons. And also, I'm going to say this through again, because I tell this every time AJ comes up, but it's right. This should always be brought up. Never forget that those pieces of shit, John Gaburek called WWE and said, "Are you interested in AJ Styles?" They said no, and they said, "Okay, cool," and offered him half his money to stay. He had worked there for 12 years, and they offered him half his money. That story should be retold every single day.
And then there's a story about Vince McMahon telling him, after he saw, I wish I signed you 10 years ago.
Well, he's very special.
What?
Man. That dude's so great that he won Vince over. We don't talk about that enough.
I still to this day don't know how he did. Like, that to me was where I said, all right, AJ Styles is an all-time. Because when he signed that company, like, there were people for years, especially in TNA, they're like, if AJ Styles ever goes to WWE, he's dead. And I believed it. I said, yeah, I don't want to. No, because AJ Styles. And then even though he went over to Japan, quit TNA, went to Japan, and had that small run where he kind of reinvented himself, I said, no, Vince is going to look at him. Oh, this is a bad idea.
Yep.
And I've been proven wrong. Like Vince, like he became one of Vince's right-hand workers.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. And I still don't know how it happened.
He's like what Shawn was at the end of his career is like what he is now. He's like their guy. Like, they want a classic man. It hasn't always worked on Mania, unfortunately. Like, some of his Mania matches have kind of missed what you'd like them to be, which is, it's life, it happens. But and he's very special.
I'm telling you, I'm sure people don't agree with me. I know they don't. But it sucks that we're not going to be able to get an AJ Styles Triple H feud.
Yeah, I don't agree with you.
Just one program doesn't have to be like just that one little program.
And then he'd the match would go so long, and he would work his leg.
He'd lose.
I get you. It probably would be good, I guess.
AJ's it's just a kind of testament to kind of the work and reputation that he came into WWE with, of being like a legitimate, like, one of the best in the world. It's like, look at the spot he debuted in, and like straight to the main roster, straight as a big deal in big feuds and stuff.
With Jericho,
There was no like feeling out process because he's an indie guy or whatever. Like, he was AJ Styles, he was too past that,
Absolutely. I want to quickly answer this because I appreciate this, Demon Grin, who on my behalf has nominated Samoa Joe for the aforementioned Danielson AJ Styles category. I wasn't doing a bit. I think Joe's highs are as good as both of those guys. Unfortunately, his lows are many, 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 many flaws.
Too long.
Like, he's got, like, Joe on his best is as good as anyone, but fuck, man, some of that TNA stuff's bad. So that's why I genuinely wouldn't put him alongside those two. He's my favorite, but I don't think he's as good as those two historically. I mean, he's in his own, he's a great wrestler, but AJ and Brian, they're the US guys for this last 20 years that you put in the all-time stakes, I think it's fair to say. But that's another conversation for another day, I think. Jack, anything else on that? You seem intrigued by this topic.
But no.
You look deep in thought there. You were pondering that. It felt.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Did we get to the Dexter Lumis stuff here or no?
We'll do that now. We'll close with that. No, we'll close with that now. I'll just lead with my stance, which I thought was really well done. And I have no fucking clue why you would bother doing it, but respect, I guess. Dexter Lumis. Bob, where do you stand on the Lumis law?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I've always been fine with, and it's a different way to bring someone in, so I like that at least. Little cliffhanger gets you to watch next week, I guess. But it was cool. Like, I don't know for sure if all the background stuff that was going on in the interviews was related or not. I guess we'll find that out next week. But yeah, it was different at least.
It was. I do appreciate how they did it. Monty, how did you feel about the angle, the Dexter Lumis business, all that stuff?
Yeah, I thought it was executed pretty well. It was just the person it wasn't the most exciting, I guess it's just, just a favour for Gargano, Well, he's obviously covered in at this point, so it's
Favor for Gargano, we're saying. All right. I don't know, man. I think he probably just thinks he's good. I know that sounds crazy, but I think he does. I think he really thinks Dexter Lumis is good.
They're going to put the way back together.
I don't think they are. I think they're DIY. I'm pretty confident of that.
Yeah.
We'll see. I genuinely think he's just high on Dexter Lumis.
I thought DIY, but the Lumis stuff last night had me thinking, kind of like Monty said, I think that was Triple H's way of foreshadowing Johnny. Like, people thought they were getting Johnny last night. Right. He goes, I'm not going to give you Johnny, but I'm going to give you this.
So remind me, the way is who?
Gargano, Candice, Indy, in theory. And then remember Lumis got hooked up with Indy, and he was kind of like the unofficial member of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Jack, do you care about this Dexter Lumis business?
Here's what I think, honestly. You know how, we come on here, we have our talks, we have our, we always have to remind people that the Twitter fan base is a very small percentage of wrestling fans.
Yes, it is.
Like our thoughts and people that should. I think that he's going to be a hit with live audiences.
You
the way he's presented. I think he's going to be a hit with people
right.
in the crowd and the shit they're going to have him do. Now, people on Twitter are going to shit on him.
Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, Hunter's going to be like, well, I don't know. I hear 9,000 people out there going nuts for, opening his jacket and showing an axe. So don't really give a shit what you say. I honestly think that's how this is going to go. People are going to shit on it on the internet, but the live audience, they're going to eat it up.
My God, like a human lily doll, right? Good shit, Jack Crosby. I like it. That's a hot take to close. All right, folks, this has been the Fed Dev Redemption. We'll go over here before NXT 2.0 starts. I know that some of you...
Before what?
Oh, there was. Some people will still watch it. You know the show that Sean runs down there? The top heel cuts his own hand and stuff. It's kind of weird.
What a rib. What a fucking rib, though. Hunter gets the job back, and people are like, yeah, he's bringing back the black and gold. And Hunter's like, no, I'm just going to turn the main roster into black and gold, fucking dorks.
He ain't got no time for that shit,
I'm
man.
just going to take my shit to the big time.
Fucking 200 Floridians down there. I can
do
work and
whatever
watch
you
that
want
shit.
down there. I don't give a shit.
There's the
Exactly right.
the final sit down tonight with Tony D'Angelo and Sam.
When is Uncle Paul gonna get fucking Santos up there on that main roster?
Bob's been saying, Bob legitimately, this is 19 episodes into Fed Dev Redemption. And I think if you dig deep enough, at some point in every episode, Bob's gone, maybe that can bring up, Legado del Fantasma.
The Judgment Day stuff is good, but I would love to see that Legado del Fantasma just come up and beat the shit out of Rey Mysterio and then beat the piss out of Dom, bloody him up and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
That'd be cool as shit, man.
That would be good. I think you're going to get that now at this point. If it was a lot more likely than it did a month ago, I'll put it that way. All right, Bob, any final thoughts, plugs, promotions, so on and so forth, pal?
No, I don't think so. This is good. I'm glad we got to do this again. Glad we're back to a weekly thing because the WWF is good again. Love to see it.
This show's very different now, right? Very, very different now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's different, bro, but it's like the vibe's different. Like, we have stuff to talk about, man.
I said, Joe, you talking to WWF? I'm in. Give me the link.
Bro, how surreal is it when you and I are just texting about WWE? Like, seriously? Like, we're just back and forth. That was good, right? Just talking about it again. Like the old days.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
I didn't know what to do last night. Like, what's going on? Why am I enjoying this so much?
Yeah, I'm into it. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's definitely different from our previous conversations. Desperately trying to pick out good stuff like the.
Totally different, yeah. Totally.
Like before, when we was talking good about the Fed with the, when they had the strong Raw Women's Division, Liv, Rhea, etc., yeah. Like we was really focusing in on that one.
Yeah, because so much bad stuff was around it. Yeah, it's just different, man. Like, and again, I get why people are bored of it. I get we just want it to be good. I really don't give a fuck about any of the brand loyalty shit. I just want the shows to be good. It gives us more stuff to talk about. Like,
I want to be able to watch. I want to do like I did when I was a kid. I want to watch both companies for different things.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have that again.
Exactly right. It's good shit. Really is. Monty, any final plugs, promotions, so on and so forth?
Just the same as always. WrestlePurist.com, at WrestlePurist on Twitter, WrestlePurist on YouTube. Follow us up, subscribe, etc. And I'm going to watch NXT 2.0 and do some scouting.
Sorry to hear that. When's the next pod? Thursday, back up Hangman and Co. Probably, yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, folks, please do go tune into that when the time comes. Jack Crosby, any plugs, any promotions, pal? Any final words?
No, I'm boring.
Couldn't be further from the truth. This isn't some of the takes you gave tonight. At one point, you were asking for a Triple H feud of some kind. It was really quite the performance. We hope you've enjoyed this, folks. We've certainly had a good time doing it. I'll be back tomorrow morning for the Burt. We're going to preview Dynamite, review a couple matches from last year, this year from Japan. So we've got some stuff going on the Burt. I think tomorrow's just a one-show day. So we'll see you then. We apologize we couldn't do the show that was Bob Watches the Big Lebowski. It will be coming eventually. We couldn't do it tonight. So we apologize for that. We hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching on the YouTubes, thumbs up, subscribe. Become a patron for just $1 at latenightgrin.com. Have a good night. Have a good day. Good evening. All hail. Keep grinning. Say hello to Bob. Bye.